Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm back. Yes, Gilmer is back. And today I am going to talk a little bit about my channel, about what's going on with me, and some of the things that are coming up. So I took a break. Everybody knows I took a break. My brother was sick, and he's a lot better now. Thanks for all the prayers. And also, I just kind of felt like I was getting into a rut, and it's not just because I play Asia games. I do play other games, but I want to actually start playing other games because I'm not exclusively playing Asia games, especially in my spare time. I'm actually playing a lot of games like this Kingdom Come Deliverance and also a game called Space Engineers. I don't know what the desire is of people to even watch some of those, but I'm thinking about at least doing some of that while not giving up Asia games completely. And so today is just going to be a kind of a channel update, what's been going on, things I've been doing. And but first let's just play the intro to this game and I'll show you what I like about it. There's so much to like about this game. This game came out in 2018. They are working on the sequel to it, which I will buy as soon as it comes out. I love this game. It's not doesn't have dragons, doesn't have magic. Let's wait until the music's over.
Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7,000 people accompanied him on his last procession. The heir to the throne of the flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous pursuits. He even failed to turn up for his own coronation as emperor, which did little to endear him to the Pope. Wenceslas the Idle did not impress the imperial nobility either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary. Sigismund decided on a radical solution. He kidnapped the king to force him to abdicate, then took advantage of the ensuing disorder to gain greater power for himself. He invaded Bohemia with a massive army and began pillaging the territories of the king's allies. It is here that my story begins.
Okay, so there you go. That's the intro to this game. Like I was saying, I really enjoy this game. When I had it on my radar when it first came out, and I still waited and bought it on sale, which I feel sorry for the publisher or the guys that developed it because I kind of gypped them a little bit in a way. I mean, I, I don't I don't have a lot of money, so I try to get just about everything I do on sale when I can. And so the things that have been going on, since the last time I recorded, I was thinking about buying a new computer, but then I was looking at all these YouTube videos of people that were building computers, and I had built my own computer back in 2016. And I was just going back and forth. Do I want to buy a pre-built computer or do I want to build my own? Pre-builts have certain issues with, quality control and things like that, and you don't always get the type of components that you'd really like And so that was kind of a concern of mine. I did find a couple of companies that I felt like did a pretty good job of building computers, but it was, they were fairly expensive. And then just, I was just looking through things and watching videos, and I just decided to build my own one day, probably around November 30th or so, is when I decided I was going to start building my own computer. I bought a motherboard at that point. I bought a computer case or tower or whatever they call them that holds everything together. I bought a SSD that goes directly on the motherboard, which is supposed to give you much better speeds than the old SSD that you match up with a computer on a SATA cable. And I bought a new power supply. I bought a pretty much a new everything except my graphics card. I don't know if I'm sure some of you are familiar with the fact that in November, and that was part of why I was watching a lot of these videos as well. In November, Nvidia and the competitor, I can't remember who the competitor is, but they put out the competing product. I want to say AMD, but I know AMD competes against Intel in computer chips, and I think AMD also competes against Nvidia in video cards. But you can't buy any of the new ones. Neither the Nvidia or the other competing source have any in stock. I know some. I know some people have found some to buy. I just have not had any luck. So I built my computer, put everything in it, did all the fan work and everything, and then I put in my old video card, which is a 980 Ti, an EVGA, one of their upper level brands for the 980 Ti EVGA, one of their more expensive cards. It retails for about $600 or $700 at this point, maybe even more, but you can't buy it either at this point. And I just compared it. I went online, compared 980 Ti to the 2060s, the 2070s, the 2080s. And although the 2060s through 2080s did do better than a 980, all the websites said that it's really not cost beneficial to upgrade from a 980 Ti to a 2060 Super or something along those lines, because the upgrade in performance doesn't point to it being a good money value. By the performance increase is not worth the amount of money that you would put out, and then you'd probably still want to go ahead and buy one of the new NVIDIA 3000 series, or one of the 6900, 6000 series, in the AMD video cards, the 6600, 6700, 68 and 6900, I think, XT, and all the model numbers just confuse the hell out of me. I just know that the 6900 XT is better than the 6700, and I know that the 3090 is better than the 3060, and they cost a lot more as well. So I'm just waiting for a video card like that to complete my computer build. But in the meantime, the 980 Ti is capable of doing some things that I never actually used it for in the past. And one of those things is I bought a new monitor, which is a resolution of 3440 by 1440 P, I think is what they call it. And that's better than the 1080. And I'm going to start recording in 1440. Hopefully this video right now is being recorded in 1440. For some of you, if you were like me, you had a 1080 monitor, you watched it in 1080. That's I don't think there was any difference between me selecting 1080 or 1440 when I had a 1080 monitor that I was watching it on. But for some of you, you might see a little bit better graphics if you have a 1440 type monitor that will show everything that's being recorded at 1440. I don't know that for a fact. It's all confusing in a sense. I mean, I know a little bit. I wouldn't say I'm a novice, but I'm not experienced either. I'm kind of in that middle range where I know a little, but I probably know just enough to get me into trouble. And so I bought a new monitor, and that's what I'm recording on now. And I wanted to play some of these other games and actually record some of these other games on this new monitor and my new computer. The computer chip is an AMD. I used to have an Intel i7 6700K, and that they don't even make that chip anymore. I think it first came out in 2014 or 2013. I don't know, but I bought a 3800X AMD chip and built my computer off of that system with a motherboard, a X570 motherboard, which supposedly you can upgrade to the newer AMD chips pretty easily with that motherboard. So who knows? I mean, all I know is I put the thing together. It didn't work at first, but then I figured it out, and now it's running, and I'm pretty happy with the product. So some of the other things I want to do, like I said, I want to kind of branch out a little bit more and play little games. I have tried the Asia games on this monitor using the 1440, or I don't know if it comes in at 1440, but the screen it fills the screen. It recognizes the monitor and fills the screen. It's not, you don't have the black borders on the left and the right when I play Asia games. I played Civil War II, Revolution Under Siege, Rise of Prussia, and Alia Jagda Est, or Jagda Est, Jagda. It's like the movie Indiana Jones in the Temple. I mean, in the search for the Holy Grail. It's J or I in Latin, and J stands for, or I stands for the J in Latin, I guess, and that's why he almost fell through the floor because he jumped on the J instead of the I. But I don't know if anybody even watched that movie, but because it's so old now. But anyway, I wanted to also just say I'm not gone. I want to keep doing. Oh, another something else I wanted to also discuss. I'm using a different software to record. I'm using OBS Studios, or the S might stand for Studios, so I might be being redundant there, but it's a free version of recording your computer screen, and a lot of these YouTube channels use it. Some of them are very professional. Another thing that I want to do is I want to make my channel more professional. I was getting a little disappointed with it because I would watch some of my videos and I'd think that video is just not that good, and I know that the people that are watching my videos are watching it a lot of times because they just love the Asia games, and this is one of the few channels, although there are a couple more now doing them, but this was one of the few channels at the time that were doing Asia type games, or literally the Asia games that were under that title name. And so I want to also start editing my videos and making them look more professional. I'm going to be working on an introduction, and so that you don't just immediately go into the video. You're going to have a introduction that says my name, whatever kind of possible video or something. I'm trying to see if I can't figure out something in Blender to do something like that, but it's going to be something along the lines using my icon in a sense, or something that represents it. I pulled that icon from a game called EverQuest, and I hope they don't, get mad that I'm using. It's just the likeness of my head of the character I played in EverQuest, and I just always liked that picture. And of course, it's little itty bitty tiny, so I'd have to work on that as well. But I also want to do a little bit of editing of my videos and cut out the awkward pauses and things like that, and places where I'm just not doing anything. I'm just, fiddling around in the game or something like that, because there are certain areas of this game, especially, that you're doing some tedious things, and you want to just maybe possibly speed it up looking, and make it a little bit more professional, and also have professional looking thumbnails for my videos. so that it doesn't look like, you know, somebody who just started is recording these videos, because that's really what they look like. It was very unprofessional looking, very just dull and drab. And I know a lot of people watched it and they were, got pretty bored with it. And of course, this video is not edited, but I'm hoping to learn. I've already watched a few videos on how to use it. Some video editing software that's supposed to come with Windows. So I think I am going to try to do that. I'm going to try to do a playthrough of this game, and also I am going to get back to Asia games as well. I might not put out. I mean, obviously, I haven't been putting out any videos at all for several months now, 6 or 7 months at least. But I want to put out regularly about 2 videos a week. If I'm editing videos that I can't do them, 3 or 4 a week, it'll be maybe 1 or 2 a week, and I'll try to cover a lot of different stuff. And I'm not going to get away from my wargaming background, although literally I play every type of game that you can imagine. Some games I don't like, but I have played and enjoyed RPGs, first person shooters. This is essentially a first person shooter, but you don't actually have a gun. You have a sword or a bow and arrow. But RPGs, FPSs, war games, of course, strategy type games, anything that is well put together. And I point to this game. This game does have a lot of bugs, but the overall effect is very enjoyable. Um, it's just, I mean, if you can see it right now. I think the graphics are just excellent, and I'm not even running them on the highest graphics. I probably could go into the settings and maybe do some up. See, it's a resolution of 3440 by 1440. Overall image quality high. I could change that to high. HD textures unavailable. I don't know why that is. Show FPS. I guess I could do that. Vertical or VSync. I don't know if that's vertical sync, but vertical field of view. Let's confirm that. Let's see what that does for the game. So as you can see in the upper right corner, I am running at about 49 to 50, 48, 47 FPS, and there are probably times when it gets worse than that, because right now it's just kind of set on a set picture, even though there is effects, uh, atmosphere effects and weather effects. Are the wind's blowing, you can see smoke in the distance, and they've just done a very good job of this game, and I really enjoy it. And the sequel, I don't know how long that's going to take. I know this took about 6 or 8 years, and but it was the developer was somebody who was familiar with developing games. He started his own company because he wanted to do something along these lines, and it's a very good game. And I know that they've hired people and have been working on a sequel. They don't like to talk too much about it, so we don't have any details of it, but it's it's coming along. I'm pretty sure they've been modeling some, because this is set in uh, what is modern day Czech Republic and Slovakia, and probably parts of Poland or parts of Germany, maybe. That it was called Bohemia, and it was part of the Holy Roman Empire, which lasted from who knows, anywhere from, I don't know, 900 and something AD to probably the 16 or 1700s. I'm not sure, but it was just a conglomeration of German states and really other states as well. I don't think Bohemia would be considered a German state even at that time, but it also had parts of what is modern day France and Luxembourg, as you saw in the intro. Sigismund of Hungary also owned Luxembourg, or well, I guess one of his relatives owned Luxembourg, but the family owned Luxembourg, and then they sold it, and so Luxembourg was part of the Holy Roman Empire, I believe, at some point. But this whole game is set around events that occurred in 1403, and as the intro stated, there was a great emperor. He died. His son wasn't really doing a very good job, so they asked his half brother to come in and help. Well, the help that his half brother brought was not the best of help. It was more pillaging and murdering than helping, and that's what the events of this game is placed within. It's kind of like a historical novel, that's fiction. The novel's fiction, but the historical background is factual as much as possible. Obviously, some historical fiction isn't as factual as other historical fiction, but all in all, they try to make the events. You're not going to have Napoleon win at Waterloo in one of these things unless they tell you this is a alternate history type thing. And so the history that's behind this game is that you know there's this conflict going on in 1403. The Wenceslas has been kidnapped, is being held in captivity in some place, and Sigismund is going around trying to you know bring the country under control through any means necessary, and you know conflicts arise from that. So anyway, that is what is going on. Be sure to like this if you want, or dislike it if you want. Your thoughts are always welcome. Your comments are always welcome. I'm sure I'll have some that say, "Oh, you're an idiot. Why would you do that?" And some will say, "Oh, that's great. I'd like to see some more divergent, some more games in other genres." And it's just something to keep me a little bit more involved. Like I said, I play Ajod on this channel as much as possible in the past, but I think in the future, for me to keep this as an ongoing thing, I'm going to have to branch out a little bit and do other videos as well. Because, like I said, I am playing a bunch of other games. I even like racing games. I've got the F1 2020 version from Codemasters. I want to do some videos on Grand Prix Legends, which is a video game, or some people call it a simulation because it's more of a simulation, that was put out in 1998 or so, and it kind of modeled the Grand Prix seasons of 67 or 68, and so, or 66, one of those years. But the heyday of the old F1. You got Jackie Stewart and people like that, Jim Clark, um, Nicky Lauda, maybe. I mean, you can get mods that do the years that Nicky Lauda's in, and some of the other names of that era were like Joaquin Rent and people like that. But I really love racing. I love watching F1, and I love watching. Well, I used to kind of watch NASCAR. I don't watch it as much anymore, but I feel like it's gotten a little boring. But I like it all. I like all games. You've seen, probably, if you've even looked, when I've had the recording on the games that I have, you're probably surprised at some of the games that I have. But some of them I've never played. Some of them I play a lot. Some of them, like this one, I play over and over because I just like it. I've got about over 1,000 hours in this game. I've completed it probably 6 or 7 times. And this playthrough I'm gonna play on hardcore because the regular normals, it just seems too easy for me at this point. But I'll also try to kind of explain how to play the game, why I like it, some of the historical notes of it, and that type of thing. Some of the things along the lines that I usually do, but of course, like I said, hopefully it'll be in a more professional setting. So anyway, just leave a like if you like it. If you don't like it, dislike it. Leave some comments, and we'll go from there. Other than that, I will see you soon.